Hey, from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull. How you doing, Darren?
Hey, Happy New Year, John Trumbull!
Happy New Year! Yes!
All Lang Syne and what have you.
Yes. And so this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year older, a new one begun.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah, see, I never liked that one. I never liked that one.
I think that song's very controversial just because like a lot of people think it's super cheesy and super dumb, but then a lot of people like it because it's super cheesy and super dumb.
Well, I mean, look, Paul McCartney, he can certainly dip his toe into the super cheesy, super dumb realm, and that's fine. That's part of his brand.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's up to his usual standard.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'll admit it is pretty like a cheesy fare. Like I'll admit I like it because I grew up with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a song that they played on the radio all the time when my dad drove me around when I was a kid, especially around the Christmas time. You go into the malls, you hear "Simply Have." It's one of those songs that just kind of attached itself to my childhood, which is why I kind of
I think for me it's a very repetitive song, and it kind of wears out its welcome before the song's over. I think that's what bugs me about it. If it was more varied, I could get into it more,
Yeah, no, the song is like all chorus with a few other like lyrics thrown in here and there.
Yeah. I mean, I love "Merry Christmas, War Is Over" by John Lennon, though. I think that's a great song. It's a little rough when it's Yoko and the kids starting to sing, but
yeah, it gets a little rough, but
I think the songwriting is strong enough that it even overcomes that.
Yeah, I would say so. Wow.
And Christmas Time Is Here Again by the Beatles is hot garbage.
Oh, damn. Hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take.
So, yeah, the Beatles, 1 for 3 for Christmas songs.
That's right. Yes.
I can't remember if George and Ringo ever wrote any Christmas songs or not.
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I think George kind of kept it to I Got My Mind Set on You, and then Ringo just sang about photographs.
Yeah.
Basically. So,
yeah. And Ringo also did... Weight of the World. That's a good song. You remember that song from the 90s?
Not really. No. I was gonna say kind of, but then I was like, no, I don't remember that.
I'll send you a link when we're done. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Okay, please do. All right.
That was our little Beatles tangent, everybody.
Welcome to Beatles Talk, everybody. And so speaking of Christmas and it's the spirit of giving, we decided to do an episode and give a gift to one of our listeners who requested a special request that we do an episode about this movie.
We're doing a long distance dedication to our listener Drew S. Rod, who said, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing Office Christmas Party? Because it's got Kate McKinnon and Vanessa Bayer." And we were like, "Yes, we have thought of that. It's a very tough movie to track down, though. So if we can track it down, we'd be happy to try and do that."
Right. And track it down we did. And we're doing it. We're talking about Office Christmas Party. Came out December 9th, 2016. So about 7 years ago now. Wow, Jesus.
I know. I still think of this as kind of a recent-ish movie. This is a movie that I don't think it's on streaming anywhere or not available to watch for free on streaming anywhere. So we both ended up borrowing this from our local libraries. Yeah,
support your local libraries, people.
Yeah. It helps you track down obscure movies for your podcast and other things.
But yeah, this movie had a budget of $45 million, made about $114 million, so not too shabby. The film was directed by Will Speck and Josh Gordon, the duo that also gave us Blades of Glory, which we've talked about in the podcast. The Switch, which also starred Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston.
And I just watched that movie this year too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
didn't think much of it, honestly.
Okay.
I like Blades of Glory. I thought Blades of Glory was a lot of fun, and I believe we both agreed it held up pretty well when we did it on the podcast.
Yeah, it did. I would say
Should
so.
I
Yeah.
look up which episode we did that on?
If you want to,
Okay, yeah,
I'll leave it up
give
to
me a
you.
second. Yeah, yeah, go on with your box office
Right.
mojo stuff.
Okay. Yeah, and so Will Speck and Josh Gordon, they also directed the most recent film, Lyle Lyle Crocodile. And this film was written by John Lucas, Scott Moore, and Timothy Dowling. Lucas and Moore also wrote The Hangover and Bad Moms, and Timothy Dowling wrote the Adam Sandler film Pixels and Role Models with Sean William Scott and Paul Rudd.
Okay, so bit of a mixed bag, I think. I like Role Models. Role Models is a good movie.
Yeah.
By the way, we did Blades of Glory in episode 145 of the SNL
Ooh.
Nerds. That was back in July of 2021. So if you want
Wow.
to find out what we think of the Will Speck and Josh Gordon filmography, you can check that out. And yeah, like I said, I also saw The Switch earlier this year. I watched that on, I think it was Amazon Prime, and yeah, it somehow ended up being. Let me see what I wrote.
It'd be hilarious if your review was just meh, and that was it. MEH.
Gonna get it here in just a second.
Okay. All right, but
Okay. Here's what I wrote. I said it's not often you find a movie that manages to be both convoluted and dull at the same time, but damned if this movie doesn't pull it off. And I gave it a generous 2 stars.
Oh boy.
So
yeah,
not great. I watched this. I watched this back in November, so not that long ago.
Okay, and now it's another month older, and the new month just begun because now we're talking about their other film, Office Christmas Party. Have they gotten better? Have they gotten worse?
Yes.
Which,
that would yes was in agreement to yes we are watching it, not yes they have gotten worse.
I see. Okay. All right, starting off with a positive tip.
I just want to be clear where I stand. See, because folks, you got to realize we try not to discuss what we think of these movies before we start recording. So when we go into this, we're going in cold. We don't know if the other one liked it, if the other one hated it. Usually, we agree with each other more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, there was that one. I mean, the Barb and Star episode.
The Barb and Star.
We won't talk about that.
From was that your last birthday or was that the year before?
I think it was the year before, but like, oh boy, that was that was like the most we were like Siskel and Ebert ever. That was
that was because that was one where you were like, hey, what do you think about doing this one on the podcast? And then you sent me the trailer and I was like, that looks horrible. I think I would hate that. And then when your birthday rolled around, and the rule we do is that whoever's birthday it is gets to pick the movie.
Yay.
And so you were like, I really want to do Barb and Star. And I was like, okay, fine, we'll do Barb and Star. Maybe it'll pleasantly surprise me. And it did not.
I still like it. I don't know.
Hey, that's great. I'm glad you liked it. That was the whole thing. You know, you watch a movie you like for your birthday, man.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, this movie, this was another movie that I knew about it when it came out, but I didn't watch it because, I don't know, the trailers didn't really sell me on it. It just seemed like kind of over-the-top, crazy party vibes, which, normally I'm down with because I'm a party animal. I'm a wild and crazy guy, as we all know.
This is true. Darren, you can't see this at home, but Darren has an arrow through his head.
Yes,
as
exactly.
We're recording this.
Exactly. I was in a terrible Archer accident. But archery. Whatever.
Well, there was an archer involved. I mean, that's implied.
Absolutely. Sterling K. Archer. There we go. Riffing.
Phrasing.
But yeah. But I saw the trailers for this movie when it came out, and I was like, this looks kind of dumb or whatever. But so I didn't see it. So at the behest of Drew, I decided to give it a shot this time around, and I was like, all right, for the most part, it's kind of as dumb as I thought it'd be, but I still had fun. I think it's a fairly
I think it's an enjoyable enough studio comedy. In some places, it's really predictable. In some places, it did manage to surprise me. So, a bit of a mixed bag. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, and it's always toughest to talk about movies you just sort of like. It's always much easier to talk about a movie you absolutely loved or you absolutely hated.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at Batman Begins last week. I went off on Batman Begins because I think that movie is pretty dumb. But
Yeah, that movie, like, I swear, I remember that movie being better than it was.
I know, and
When I
it's
was a
so
kid.
weird how your perception changes over time because the movie is not changing, unless it's like a special edition or something like that. It's just your perception or your memory that's changing with time. So
Yeah, and also maybe just like because as time gone on, we've been able to see better, more well done action superhero movies. So we compare that to that, and we're like, oh
yeah,
wow,
true.
that's really
You're. I mean, in the case of Batman Returns, like there's a higher standard these days. Yes,
yes, for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, so yeah, for this one, okay, we got our Jason Bateman, we got our Jennifer Aniston. I'm going to read the back of the DVD description because I like reading
Yeah,
these when we have them
yeah,
on DVD.
yeah. Go for it. 'Cause,
Okay.
I mean, the lineup in this movie is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, we got it says party like your job depends on it in the comedy event of the year when an overbearing CEO, Jennifer Aniston, decides to close her hard partying brother's failing branch. He, TJ Miller, uh, and his fired up coworkers, Jason Bateman, Olivia Munn, Kate McKinnon, decide to throw an epic office party to land a big shot client, Courtney B. Vance, and save everyone's job. Fueled by booze and bad decisions, things quickly spiral out of control in this wild and raunchy comedy. Get ready to work hard and party harder.
Oh
And
yeah.
let me read the cast from the front here because that description didn't cover. We got Jason Bateman, Olivia Munn, T.J. Miller, Jillian Bell, Vanessa Bayer, Courtney B. Vance, Rob Corddry, Sam Richardson, Randall Park, Kate McKinnon, and Jennifer Aniston. Wow.
It's a pretty stacked cast.
I
I will
think that's
say.
everybody. Yeah, it's this big ensemble thing, and it's always kind of stressful when you're watching some big ensemble thing at the very beginning because every time a new person comes on screen, I'm like, okay, is this somebody I have to remember, or is this just a throwaway thing? I
Okay.
like it. Jason Bateman, he's coming in to his office early on in the movie, and he's talking to one of his coworkers, and she's her and Kate McKinnon is the HR rep says like, oh, her blouse is unbuttoned a few too many buttons. It's not really appropriate for the workplace. And I'm like, okay, is this person whose blouse is unbuttoned too much? Am I going to have to remember her, or is she just going to be gone after the scene? I want them to like flash on the screen. This is an important character. Remember this person. This is
Yeah,
just a minor person. Don't
yeah,
bother.
that is true. Yeah, like I mean that character Megan, played by
Yeah.
Jamie Chung, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really not a big part of the movie at all.
She's not. I mean, she's kind of there throughout, but it's kind of a thankless role. And I like remember Jamie Chung because I know she's in one of the Sin City movies.
Uh,
She played the ninja type character Miho,
oh, okay.
and,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
another actress played her in the other movie. So I don't remember which Sin City movie she did. And she doesn't have any dialogue in that, so you really
Let's see.
you really don't remember her.
See, Jamie Chung. I'm checking right now. Yeah, she was
Yeah,
in.
it was either the original Sin City or Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, which they did
Okay,
like 9 years later.
okay, all right. Yeah, it seems like she was on Gotham as well. Oh wow. A few other things too.
Yeah.
What's okay? Oh yeah,
Okay.
Sin City, a Dame to Kill For. You're right.
Okay, so it was the second one that didn't do so hot. Yeah,
Yes.
she took over the role, and I can't remember why she took over. And we're not gonna do a dive on that because
Right. We got a lot to talk about with this movie.
there's a lot to talk about. I mean, it starts out we got Jason Bateman. His divorce is just being finalized. Matt Walsh is his lawyer. Matt Walsh from the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah, yeah. Nice
The
little.
cool Matt Walsh.
Yes. The good Matt Walsh.
Yeah, every time that name is trending on Twitter, I'm like, wait, did the Upright Citizens Brigade guy do something horrible? No, okay, it's just the politician asshole. Then I don't fucking care. Okay,
Yeah, like somebody's got to change, like include their middle initial or something, just so people.
exactly. We got this whole Office Space Michael Bolton sort of situation. It's like, no, why should I change? He's the one who sucks.
That's a brilliant analogy. Well
Oh,
done.
thank you. I'm due.
But yeah, like we start off with Jason Bateman's character Josh, he's getting his divorce is finalized. As soon as
Right.
I saw that scene, I was like, all right, so Josh is going to hook up with somebody in this
He
movie.
is gonna hook up with somebody before the end of this movie, and then like in the first 10 minutes, he goes into the office and he's like interacting with Olivia Munn, and you're like, okay, well, Jason Bateman and Olivia Munn, they're gonna hook up before the end of this movie.
Right. And we also learned that Jason Bateman is Olivia Munn's boss. Olivia Munn is the chief of research and development,
Mm-hmm.
and Jason Bateman is like the head of the chief of technical advancement at
Right.
Xenotech, which is the company they work in Chicago.
Yeah. And by the way, since this is such a huge ass cast, we're gonna call them by the actors by their real names because it's gonna be a lot less confusing that way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's Jason Bateman hooking up with Olivia Munn. It's not their characters hooking up. It's them, the actors actually hooking up in real life.
That's right. Yeah, John Mulaney is pissed.
and so is Jason Bateman's wife and family.
Oh yes, them too. Get away from my baby mama.
But no, I think this is before the Olivia Munn and John Mulaney were a thing. So it's
I
totally okay, everyone.
I know, but it worked. The joke works better. Come on,
That's true.
theater of the mind, John.
Yeah, that's true. Jokes are not improved by being fact checked, people.
Absolutely.
I apologize for cutting you off at the comedy knees there.
Thank you.
So at the branch of this tech company, it's being run by T.J. Miller, and
Yeah,
somehow it's not already bankrupt.
yeah, like T.J. Miller, his character is Clay, and like he's basically like a big man child.
Mm-hmm.
He has he really does care about his employees and really loves being
Yeah.
being part of this family. But he's a big. I believe Jason Bateman's character says his mind's like a drunk baby.
Yeah, that puts it well. Yeah, at one point they're walking around outside. They pass the I think they said it's the Chase Street Bridge, the drawbridge in Chicago. And
Wait,
he's
I
like,
wrote.
"Hey, how fast do you think you'd have to be going to make the jump on that bridge?" And like 80, 90 miles an hour, so it's a very ADHD sort of thing. He just says and does whatever enters into his mind at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. As soon as they said that, I was like, all right, they're gonna jump that bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've seen enough movies to know like when a writer is putting in a little setup or a little
Yeah,
foreshadowing.
yeah.
And
And that is the Clark Street Bridge
the
in
Clark Street.
Chicago.
Okay, I knew it was something. I knew it was 5 letters with a C. So I was
Yeah.
Clark Street, not Chase. Okay,
Hmm.
thank you for checking that.
Yeah, yeah.
And also like early on, we see like some of the programmers for the company, and one of the programmers, like one of them is played by the guy who played Henry Winkler's son on Barry,
Oh,
and he was also in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. So I know him. I don't know his name, but the other guy has T.J. Miller's exact haircut and also a beard, and I'm like, why are you casting somebody who looks eerily like T.J. Miller in a movie with T.J. Miller?
he did have big T.J. Miller vibes. I will say that.
He does, and he's just a minor part. And I was like, okay, this is where I want subtitles. Just on screen, just flash, not T.J. Miller, not terribly important. Don't have to remember him.
Right.
Ha
There
ha
are.
ha ha.
I will admit there are a lot of characters. I mean, I get it because it's an office and offices have a
Yeah,
lot of people, but
yeah, and
it
it's a
is.
big company, and
Yeah.
yeah, but it's oh my god, so many note taking. We got Kate McKinnon. She's the HR rep Mary. We've got Rob Corddry, who is a customer service guy. Rob Corddry is basically playing Lou from Hot Tub Time Machine again.
Very. Yeah. Really. Like it really just feels like that when they hired him, they were like, "Hey, you know that character you did in Hot Tub Time Machine? Do that, but for our film."
Right. Do that again. You
Do
just you come around, you be hideously inappropriate, and then you fuck off for 10 or 15 minutes, and then
yes.
you come back again when we need somebody to say something outrageous.
Yes. You
And
do that.
hey,
Do that magic.
and yeah, Cordry is doing it great. It's just like he can do other stuff, so
It could, but I
it's a
don't
little
know.
repetitive. We
That's,
got let's see, we mentioned
we got.
Bateman and
Yeah.
Olivia Munn. We got Vanessa Bayer, who is Allison. Was that her name?
Yes. Yeah, that's Clay's assistant, T.J. Miller's assistant.
Oh, okay. I didn't really absorb her function in the office, and it doesn't really matter. She's a single mother. That's her character trait.
Yeah. Then we have Karan Soni, who plays Nate, who's a head of IT, and he's the boss of those two guys you just mentioned.
Yes, the two other
Uh,
programmers.
the two other
Yeah,
programmers,
they're IT guys. They're not programmers. That's right.
right? They're IT guys. And Karan Soni, you might know him as Dopinder from the cab driver from Deadpool, and
Oh, okay.
he also had a voice in the most recent Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as Pravitir Prabhakar, the Indian Peter Parker.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the second Spider Verse movie yet, um, but I really liked him in Deadpool, and I didn't recognize him from the Deadpool movies. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
was
This
like, oh,
movie,
I thought this person was new to me. So, but
yeah, no, this movie had a lot of people that kind of went on to do bigger things. Like the one person who I looked up, I kind of noticed is when Josh Brooks walks into the office, he walks past a security guard, Carla, and that is played by Divine Joy Randolph, who was in a movie we talked about, Dolomite Is My Name. She's
hmm
also in Only Murders in the Building, and she's recently in the new Alexander Payne movie, The Holdovers, with Paul
Paul
Giamatti.
Giamatti.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I recognized her name because I've heard her name a lot. I didn't recognize her when she popped up in the movie, and they she should have had more to do. I mean, because she's obviously a funny performer, and
yeah,
yeah, I would have liked if they worked her into the plot a little more. We also have Randall Park, who plays Fred from accounting,
yeah.
and we see him and Vanessa Bayer. They've got a little flirtation thing going on
Hmm.
because she's like, "Oh, it's really tough because I'm a single mother, and that's my character trait." And he's like, "Hey, well, I was raised by a single mother." And you think, "Oh, well,
Right.
they're having a little meet cute, and they're going to get together by the end of the movie."
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, yeah. Randall Park,
and
new hire on in the
and we've
program
got Jennifer Aniston as
as
she's
Carol.
as Carol. She's the sister of Carl, T.J. Miller's character, and Carl is running this branch, and Jennifer Aniston is like running the whole company. I think
Yeah, she's the interim CEO because
that's right. Okay,
the company belonged to their father. He was a CEO, but he recently passed away,
right.
and yeah, so now she's taking over as the interim while Clay is the manager, the branch manager. And
Yeah,
they already established that even though Clay is a huge fuck up, but like he's likable and he's fun to be around. So Dad always liked him more just because he's the
right.
fun, goofy dope that everybody just likes. And meanwhile, Carol has to be the hard edge one to actually keep the fucking machine running.
Right. And it's Jennifer Aniston in bitch mode. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston just loves playing a bitch. I think because she has done this in a lot of movies, man. I think she's just going against the Friends typecasting. But
Yeah.
I mean, she really whenever she gets like a bitch or an outrageous character to play, she just goes for it. Like in the horrible bosses movies
Uh,
and
the morning show.
the morning show. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she just loves playing herself a bitch.
Yeah. Just like uptight. Just you
Yeah,
know, it's
not a redeeming quality. So she wants to cut 40% of the workforce, and it's right before Christmas, so she's extra horrible.
right
And
because
Jason Bateman and T.J. Miller are like, no, 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 you can't do that. That's like 80 workers, and we can't cancel people's bonuses. We can't do this. We can't. Yeah. And she's like, you have to make this make sense for the fiscal year, and blah 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 blah. And
right. Yeah, because like the Chicago branch isn't making any money. They're not meeting their quotas
right,
for the fourth quarters. Yeah, they have no new ideas, no new revenue. Olivia Munn's character Tracy has been mentioning that she has this kind of new idea
right.
uh, that where you can
And
connect to the internet anywhere.
like this is a thing where movies whenever somebody in a movie is like I have this revolutionary idea, you're just like, okay, I know it's not going to be a good idea because if you actually had a good idea like this, you wouldn't be putting it into a movie.
Yeah, it's
you
yeah,
know and she's like, this is a thing where you can access the internet all the time from your phone no matter where you are.
yeah. When she said that, I was like, that sounds like a hotspot. Isn't that like a hotspot or
Yeah,
like your phone?
I maybe this sounded more revolutionary in 2016 or something, I don't know, but I was like,
But yeah,
okay. For the sake of this movie, I'm just going to go with this and pretend that this is a cool revolutionary idea.
Yeah, but like so, yeah, it's what's it called? So Olivia Munn's character sort of pitches this idea that's not truly tested out, and it's an interesting
Right.
idea, but Carol's like, well, this isn't fleshed out yet, so
Yeah.
we can't go with it. So yeah, she wants to cancel the holiday party, cancel bonuses, and like you said, lay off 40% of the staff,
Right.
and it's looking rough. And like I think the
Yeah.
word gets out around the office that that's going to happen, and already morale around the office is actually pretty low.
Hmm.
So the fact that they hear this causes people to panic. I think at one point, Sam Richardson, who he says, like I've been hearing about layoffs. You can't do that. I just bought a used Lexus, man. I put rims on it. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but yeah, like so it's basically Jason Bateman's character and T.J. Miller trying to save the day, and just so they don't lay off anybody, and like everybody still gets a bonus, but it's not looking good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Jason Bateman and T.J. Miller and Olivia Munn, they decided we're going to get a new backer. We're going to get a new, we're going to save
Right,
the business if we can get this new deal. So they pitch this new product to Courtney B. Vance, who's playing this guy named Walter Davis.
right,
And the pitch, it goes, so. He's not bowled over or anything. So they decide to invite him to the office Christmas party to sell him, and so the office Christmas party is back on.
right. Like basically, so Courtney B. Vance, who's a phenomenal actor,
Yeah,
he basically says, yeah, like your numbers are good, but I worry about your office morale, your the culture at your office, just because I've heard about the layoffs. I've heard you close down the Orlando branch, and I don't
yeah,
know if I want to get into business with that. So they invite him to the party, saying like, "No, we're all about family here. We're all about community at our office. Come to our party, you'll see it, and we'll win you over." And
yeah.
so they decide to have the party back on, even though Carol specifically told them not to have the party.
Right, right. Because waste of money and
Right.
um,
So then, like, yeah, so TJ just gets everybody together, puts out an email, say, "Party's on, bitches," which it's. I don't know if you shouldn't send an email like that to your workers. Not, I never got that in an office job, but it's pretty cool.
no, no. Do you like going to office holiday parties?
I haven't been to too many holiday office parties really. Like the
Hmm.
jobs I've had, either they've never had an office party, or like it's just never happened. So like as far as the whole office party culture and how people get crazy crazy insane, like I've never seen that. I've never been part
Yeah,
of that.
I no, I don't think that really happens anymore. I mean, that's the cliche, of course, is that
Right.
people get drunk and they hook up at office parties, and people don't really do that anymore. And I'm sure rightfully so.
Right.
Um, yeah, the only office job I've had where they had a holiday party, which was it was a job where I was working for big time jewelry company,
Ooh.
and they would do, and Christmas of course would be their biggest time of year. And then after Christmas you have all the returns and exchanges and things like that. So they wouldn't do their holiday party until the Christmas season was over. So it would be sometime in, like, I don't know, mid-January or something. They'd throw the end of the season party, and it's just like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, mid-January.
Yeah,
That's
it
more.
was something like that. I mean, this is going back years.
At that point, it's a
And
Martin Luther King party. Martin
I
Luther
know it kind of is, but like people would get dressed up and dance, and they'd have food, and they'd have. I think there was an open bar. Yeah, I don't
Ooh.
remember paying for drinks there. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
but
it also may be kind of weird because you know how you act when you're in the office. You act different than you are when you're around your friends. So,
absolutely, and you're like,
like,
yeah, and people are like dancing and having a party, and I'm just like, I really don't feel comfortable dancing with my coworkers, honestly.
yeah, I don't want you
You
to see the
know?
side of me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I will come and I'll eat the free food and stuff.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'd rather I just got a raise than have to come to your big expensive office party that you can obviously afford. But
that would be better. That would be
that
nice.
would be better. I would rather have something more with my cost of living, and then I can choose how to spend that money. But
That would be good.
but
But yeah,
So
it's a
yeah,
weird vibe.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's just
weird thing. And also like I remember I was doing comedy by this point when I had this job, and my bosses knew I'd done comedy, and but nobody had seen my act, and they
oh.
came up to me before the holiday party, and they were like, "Hey, John, would you like to do your act at the party?" And I was like, "Oh no, oh no, that is not a good idea. You think that's a good idea? That is not a good idea."
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want me to do my act? Do you also want to update my resume for me when I have to look for a new job after?
Exactly, exactly. They just, it's like someone here should have a passing familiarity with my act before you ask me to perform. And
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
yeah.
hey, if you want to see me perform, yeah, come out to a venue where I'm performing. That's fine. That's great. But at the time, I literally had a joke in my act about me looking forward to taking the day off of work to go to a funeral. So
Ooh,
that's about my level of job enjoyment that I had at that point in my life.
he gets.
I was like, oh hey, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to that funeral and seeing that corpse of somebody that I
Yeah.
used to know. That'll be a nice change in my routine. This was a joke in my act.
What a
I was like,
lovely change of pace.
yeah, I'm not going to do that joke at the office Christmas party.
I'd rather see a dead body in the inside of my office.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of the office holiday parties.
Yeah, that's yeah, I get it. I get it. But
Yeah. Yeah. You get it.
it's
You get it.
yeah. Well, I mean,
So anyway,
if the office party was like this office party, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I'm like half the time I'm watching this, I'm just like, all the money they're blowing on this, it is outrageous. And
Yeah.
I know movie. Um, and let's see, to complicate the situation further, Jennifer Aniston she gives Jason Bateman a job offer.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and she goes to his apartment to do this. I
Yeah,
don't I don't know
that's
why, because
I
I guess she's trying to do it on the down low, or we just wanted another set in the movie or something. I don't know,
yeah,
but
that was weird. Like I thought they were gonna like hook up or like it would. I don't know. I thought maybe like they would be
yeah,
revealed that they were married or they had like some type of intimate.
personal connection. Yeah,
Yeah, because like bosses don't go to your where you live. They just call you, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, but again, movie. It's always better to have two people face to face than talking
I,
on the phone.
I
But
suppose so.
yeah, you thought they were going to hook up or something, just to complicate things, but no, they didn't go there.
Right.
Um, so
But
so they're throwing this office Christmas party together on about 5 hours notice.
yeah, yeah, they're able to get all the alcohol. They're able
Hmm.
to get a DJ because Sam Richardson's character Joel DJs, so
Yeah.
he DJs the thing. They're able to get a
Well, he says my friend is a DJ, and then when the party starts, we see him as DJ Calvis,
yeah. The
and he's
friend
like,
is
"Oh no, he's actually a DJ himself."
right. The friend is he.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we see somebody rented a live baby for the nativity scene.
Yeah.
We see that
They rent reindeer,
they
or
rent
they buy
rain.
reindeer.
Yeah, like they rent reindeer. Like what are you gonna
That
do with
seems
that?
unnecessary.
It really does, doesn't it? What are you gonna
Yeah.
do with that?
Because I mean, you just be like, this is what happens if you run reindeer for your holiday party. And it's like, oh, no, there's reindeer here. Okay, and then you go back to what you were doing,
Yeah.
and then like 45 minutes later, you're like, oh, hey, there's reindeer shit over there. Okay,
All right. Well, who's gonna clean that up? I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It just seems like more trouble than it's worth, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then we see Olivia Munn shows up with Jimmy Butler from the Bulls. So we get an
Yeah,
appearance from one of the Bulls.
yeah.
Uh,
I just saw this incredibly tall person, and I was like, okay, obviously that's a basketball star. I'm supposed to know who he is. I don't because I'm not a sports person.
yeah.
Thankfully for people like me in the audience, they said his name, and then they said he was a two-time All-Star for the Chicago Bulls, and I'm like,
Yes.
okay, great. I figured he was from a Chicago team, so yay, go Jimmy
Basketballer.
Butler.
Yay. And we also have this other storyline where we in earlier in the movie we have Nate, the IT guy,
Right,
him talking to his employees, his subordinates,
right,
telling him that he has this girlfriend who's like a really hot model, and of course the employees don't believe him; they think he's full of shit.
right, because it
So
sounds like my girlfriend in Niagara Falls.
exactly, and so
Yeah,
he hires a call girl to pose as his girlfriend.
He
Just
hires an escort, Darren. Come on.
is that the word? All right, escort. Yes, escort.
Yeah. He goes to an escort. I don't know what the preferred. She's a sex worker of some kind.
Yes, a woman of the evening.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right? Is that what
I
we're saying?
don't know if prostitute is frowned on.
I
I mean,
I
I
don't.
don't. I think call girl and hooker are kind of derogatory.
Okay, all right. So, all right, apologies. I'll
But
say
I don't
escort.
know. I don't know for sure. I'm not up on my latest sex worker lingo.
Yes, intimacy for money. That's that.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. So he hires a intimacy for money worker.
Hmm.
Here we go. And we also get appearance by her pimp, played by Jillian Bell, who
Jillian Bell, whose name I did not remember at first, so I just put her in my notes as 22 Jump Street Lady.
she's probably most well known for Workaholics, if you've seen that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't watch too much of Workaholics, so
but yeah, she was in that, and she actually wrote on SNL for like a season.
yeah,
From
I saw that she wrote like season 35.
yeah,
So
yeah. So she has
okay.
another SNL connection. It all connects.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So she comes into play. We see like her name is Trina, and she's kind of a unstable pimp.
Yeah,
She's got the nine. She's got
but
the
she's
club.
doing that in that sort of ironic Jillian Bell sort of way.
Yes, very much
Yeah,
so.
she's like, I'm gonna put my gun to your head. Now I'm putting it to my head. Now I'm putting it in my mouth, and yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
she's like a half ironic pimp.
exactly, it's the best kind of pimp.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
so. So Nate, he he gets this lady to accompany him for the evening so that his coworkers will think that he actually is dating a supermodel that he made up out of whole cloth. Um, and then early in the evening, the woman whose real name is Savannah, he pays her $200, and she's like, "Okay, well, if you want me to stay for the night, it's 2,000." And he's like, "That's not what the ad said." And she's like, "Hey, do I look like I cost only $200 a night?"
Mm.
And again, I don't know the pricing on sex workers right
Neither
now.
do I.
I don't know what the going rate is right now, but yeah, I would imagine that she would be cost more than
Yes.
$200.
Top shelf, I believe
As
they
yeah, I
refer to it.
mean, very attractive woman dressed very sexily.
Hey now.
So yeah, so Nate has to go out on the street and he's scrambling to get more money from the ATM. The ATM will only let him take out 200 at a time. He gets hit by a car at one point when he's rushing across the street.
Yeah, and then also we see that Walter shows up to the party too,
Right,
and
Courtney B. Vance.
Courtney
Yeah,
B. Vance, yeah, and he's like very
yeah,
hesitant about being there. He kind of is like, "Oh, that's a bad idea. I should go," but like, no, they're trying to warm him up. They take him to the eggnog luge, where he basically has to stick his mouth in a ice penis and have eggnog drip down it. As
yeah.
you
It's a big ice sculpture. Yeah, the thing where you pour the alcohol down, and we see Jason Bateman doing this, and yeah, to drink the eggnog, he basically has to
I mean,
fillet this ice sculpture. And I saw this and I was just like, okay, how is that not a GIF that is all over the internet? This is literally the first time I've ever seen this.
yeah, I don't know why.
How do you not have like the Jason Bateman fellatio GIFs floating around freely?
It's right there, people. It's there for the
Yeah,
taking.
yeah.
There for
And again, I was like, I mean, thank God for Olivia Munn's sake that she didn't do this bit because
oh yeah.
those would be floating all over the internet.
Oh, Maron, that would be
Yeah, I
something
mean,
else.
and certain clever programmer people would do the things that they do.
Mm-hmm. Make something flesh colored. I hear you.
Yeah, yeah. And
Angry.
then like at one point, and they also at this party they have a snow machine that is spitting out snow. I guess to just make it more Christmassy, and there are these little bags of snow that get put in there. And at one point, uh, the sex worker lady Savannah puts her purse down by it, and she has a bag of cocaine in there because of course she does.
Of
And
course.
somebody sticks Mary, the HR lady, Kate McKinnon's character, sticks the bag of cocaine in there, and it blasts Courtney B. Vance right in the face.
Right. Just as he's about to leave, saying, "No, you guys are nice, but I shouldn't be here. I want to go."
Right.
Bam! Face full of cocaine.
Face full of cocaine, and nobody realizes that is what happens. So
Yeah.
he is high as a kite for half this movie, and no one is the wiser.
Yes, but then also as the night goes on, we see people getting more loose and inhibited.
Yeah,
We see
uninhibited.
uninhibited. That's right. That's the word.
Yes.
We see Allison and Fred. Randall Park and
Yeah.
Vanessa
Thank you
Bayer.
for. Yeah.
Vanessa Bayer. We see them hook up in the daycare center, but then we
Yeah.
find out that Randall Park has like a child. I don't want to say child fetish. That sounds weird.
They're talking playfully with each other because they're in the daycare facility,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, are you gonna have to like send me to bed without brushing my teeth or something like that?" And he keeps going on with it, and yeah, and we kind of find out that this is his thing, and then Vanessa Bayer is like, "Okay, this is a little too much for me. I'm punching out."
Right. Exactly.
So
So
that was a surprise.
that I did not expect that to happen. I literally expected them to like be a thing by the end of the movie.
I thought, oh, they're going to be like the secondary couple behind Jason Bateman and Olivia Munn, who by the way go up to a roof to smoke a joint together
Mm-hmm.
because they're each other's secret Santa.
Oh,
They're like a little flirty early on, so you're like, okay, yeah, they're going to hook up. And they go up
yeah,
to the roof and they get locked up there. And I see this happen. I'm like, oh, well, they're going to be locked up together for the majority of the movie. But no, they're rescued pretty quickly.
yeah, pretty much because like I think at that point, Jeremy, Rob Corddry goes out to take a piss because he's all
Yeah,
drunk, and then they're able to get back in.
right.
Yeah, and the party starts to rage on some more. Somebody from the office actually texts and tweets out to they said like all of Chicago about the
Right.
party, just
Yeah,
inviting.
I think that was Jamie Chung's character.
Yeah. She says like, "Oh, cool party, party of the century, open bar," and she just texts like literally everyone in the entire city. So
Hashtag open bar. Yeah.
right, I
Yeah.
mean, once you put out open bar, it's a wrap.
I mean, those are the two greatest words in the English language, as far as I'm concerned.
Damn straight. Cash bar are the two worst.
Yeah. Yeah. And meanwhile, Jennifer Aniston, who is she was flying off to London, I believe. Her plane can't get out because they're having a big snowstorm and all the flights are canceled. Um, so she takes an Uber back from the airport, and Fortune Femster is her Uber driver, which that was
Yeah,
a pleasant surprise.
yeah. We got a nice little Fortune Femster cameo. That was pretty neat.
Hmm. Let's see. At the party, we see Kate McKinnon, Rob Corddry having a little dance off.
Yeah. I think there's this one long sequence where they play where T.J. Miller dressed as Santa gets on stage and starts singing "Let Me Clear My Throat," the big dance head, and then he brings up Walter, who's gacked out of his mind, and
Right.
then it's just like
Courtney B. Vance. Yeah.
Courtney B. What I say?
You said Walter.
Walter.
Again, I'm trying to say the actors' names because I don't remember the fucking character
All right,
names.
easy. All right, Courtney B. Vance.
Yeah.
Mr. Angela Bassett. He gets on stage. They all start wiling out for the night, as the kids
Hmm.
say. And yeah, there's this like dance off where Mary or Kate McKinnon's character is able to like, let loose a bit. I remember their names. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
well, look, I'm bad with names in my life, so I'm doing well to remember the actor names. Um, remember, I wrote down Jillian Bell as 22 Jump Street Lady. So,
right, exactly. Yeah, and the two of them are, yeah, like we have Kate McKinnon, Rob Corddry, them going off having like a dance contest.
mhm.
Everybody's getting loose with it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a wild time. People are starting to do the old taking Xerox copies of your butt on the Xerox machine.
We see one person actually gets a 3D printing of their penis,
That's right. That's
which
that's the next level.
I mean that's a thing I haven't seen in a movie before. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And like at this point, like Walter's having a fantastic time. Courtney B. Vance, he's having a
Yeah.
fantastic time, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to work with you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys party."
Yeah.
So T.J. Mill's like, "I did it. I closed the deal. Huzzah!" And everybody's fun and
And
fun
and
times.
now Nate the IT guy, I'm forgetting the actor's name now. Um, he and Vanessa Bayer have a connection, but then Nate finds out that his escort Becca, she gave Larry from shipping a hand job
Yes,
during the party.
for $40.
Yeah, and
That's
he's like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be like my date for the evening." And she's like, "Well, you told me to like make your coworkers happy. I thought that made him pretty
yeah. I
happy."
mean, can't beat that price. $40. I mean, hey, that's
Again, is that a good price?
I
I don't
it,
know.
I don't know. I don't know either. I, Darren Patterson, do not know. If any,
I feel like
any feds are listening.
I'm remembering one of our friend Adam Lacidi's jokes. Do you know the joke I'm talking about?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do his material on the podcast, but it's about him getting a text message from his dad when his dad was in Vegas.
Oh, oh my!
And his dad sent him an amount of money, and then BJ Vegas, and Adam was like, is that a good price? and then it turns out that his dad, that BJ stood for blackjack. And
okay.
Because Adam was getting this message in like the middle of the night because of the time difference.
Got it.
Now I basically have done Adam's joke.
So, shout out to Adam Lucidi.
Shout out to Adam Lucidi. Sorry I mangled your joke.
Oh boy. Wow. All right, but yeah,
hope it's not in your act anymore.
But listeners, call in. Let us know what's the going rate for.
Let us know what the going rate is. Let us know what your favorite joke is from Adam Lucidi's stand-up act.
Yes, let us know everything. Yeah. So
have you ever seen a dick 3D printed in a movie before? We haven't.
Yeah, because like just as they're about to do it, they cut away. I was like, I kind of wanted to see that. Just sort of.
We just see it sort of half. I wonder if that was a ratings thing. Because like, okay, when I popped in this DVD, it says like rated R for such and so, and then at the very end it says graphic nudity. And when you see graphic nudity in the ratings thing, that kind of gets your attention. You're like, oh my god, are we going to see like some full frontal here? What's going on?
What's the haps?
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's because we momentarily see a dude's dick.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't no boobs, no.
No, there were boobs briefly at one point. Jason Bateman goes into the bathroom and he's looking for people in the bathroom. And he opens the door and everybody's in there with the DJ and there's people in there.
There's like an orgy in the bathroom, and like Joel was like, "It's happening, Josh! It's happening!"
Yeah, and we see some butts.
We see some butts. Yeah, that's true.
We see some butts.
That's true.
But
yeah, back to the cab. So, Fortune Feimster is driving Jennifer Aniston.
Is it Feimster or Femster?
Femster or Feimster?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know either. Femister?
Okay.
Famster. So we see Fortune drive.
Yeah.
Aniston back. They did have this one line where she was asking what she did for a living, and it's like, well, if you need a job, you can always, you could always do an Uber. I can give you the contact info. You could be you could be the CEO of your own car.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like that line.
And Jennifer Aniston's like, no, I am the CEO, and she's like, you're the CEO of Uber? Oh wow, is this undercover boss? It's a funny bit, yeah. And Fortune does a great job with it. And she mentions in passing when Jennifer Aniston tells her where she's going that she dropped several people off at the party earlier.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Aniston's like, what? They're having a Christmas party? What? She goes full Mr. Spacely. That's right. Yes.
Jetson!
If she had a video phone, she would call up right now and go, Jetson! And then Fortune Femster's Uber would fold up into a briefcase, and
Yes, of course. His boy Elroy. So of course she's on her way back.
Feimster. I don't know. I'm very curious now.
Fortune. They're on their way back to the office. They close the deal with Courtney B. Vance's character, and then earlier in the movie, in passing, because T.J. Miller's character has these thoughts where he's like, "Hey, I wonder if you could swing from one end of the office to the other on the Christmas lights."
Yeah,
and
because there's a second level and there's a balcony thing, and there are all these lights strung up across the gap, and,
right.
And Courtney B. Vance is he's high enough to think that's a good idea to try.
Yes, so we see him up on the balcony, trying to swing from one end of the balcony to the other, and of course he immediately falls down, smacks his head on a filing cabinet, and just hits the ground. Like, it's painful.
I mean, it is. Yeah, that is. God bless whichever stuntman did that fall, man. Because
that looked bad.
He like hits his head, and it looks like he hits his head for real.
Oof.
I mean, and I assume it was all done safely and smartly, and he was well protected. But oh my god! And then we see Courtney B. Vance go off to the hospital, and that's pretty much it for Courtney B. Vance in the movie. He pops up once more before the end, but
does he pop up?
He's pretty much gone. Right. And then Kate McKinnon comes in and she says, oh, I mean, like Olivia Munn, Jason Bateman, and T.J. Miller, they're all excited because they're like, hey, we closed the deal with him. He wants to do business with us. We've saved the company. We've saved the branch. And Kate McKinnon's like, oh no, no, he just got fired because his branch was shipped overseas.
Yeah, and that's when Jennifer Aniston gets there. She comes in, and
Right.
we find out that yeah, like Courtney B. Vance's character was let go. It seems like he got let go in between when they met with him earlier in the day and when he got to the party. So
Okay. I
yeah,
was confused. I wasn't sure if he was let go before he met with those with the people from the Zeo Corp or whatever it's called. Um,
yeah. Okay, I think Kate McKinnon
okay.
says that he got let go at the end of the business day. So it seems like, which makes
Okay.
sense because like when he got to the party, he seemed like he didn't want to be there and he kind of wanted to leave. So like maybe he just got the news and was
Okay.
feeling down and out.
Okay,
So
that
that
makes
makes
sense. I must have missed that when I was taking a note.
yeah. So
So
and then
okay.
yeah, then Kate McKinnon said, yeah, I confirmed it with my Facebook group. We all of HR people keep in touch, and yeah, like this his branch is going overseas and he's out of a job.
Okay.
So there is no deal to be had.
Right.
Carol sees all what's happening. Here's this news, and they're like, yeah, we're shutting down the Chicago
Right.
branch. This ain't happening.
And TJ Miller, of course, very upset by this, so he goes to get wasted with the prostitute and the pimp.
Yeah, because like the prostitute's like tells his pimp, oh yeah, no, I know that guy. Like I saw him. He's rich and pretty dumb. So of course the
Right.
pimp's like, well, hello.
And why did he have the $30,000 or $300,000 taped to
Oh,
him?
right, because that was going to be given out to everybody as a bonus. Because since, like, so
Okay.
basically, we also learned that because, um, they're not getting any bonuses. He's been using his own money to give back to the employees. Like he's using his own money to give the bonus. He used his own money to buy the liquor and everything else at the party. So
Right.
it's all been coming out of his own pocket. So he had the money strapped to his chest. So he was going to give it to the employees as a bonus.
Okay.
That's his.
Again, I don't understand how this company hasn't been bankrupt for years. Because it's like,
I
I mean, if your company is being run by TJ Miller,
yeah
that seems like a red flag to me.
yeah, and also at this point, Jennifer Aniston lets everybody know that yeah, I offered uh, Bateman a job in the New York office too, and
Right.
he didn't say no, but he didn't say yes, but he didn't say no, and
And
that
everyone takes this as this incredible personal betrayal.
yeah, it's like we're just yeah, that part was kind of like we're just coworkers. What the fuck? Like he just
Yeah,
got
Olivia Munn is like, "How could you?"
it's like
And he's like, "I didn't say yes." And they're like, "You didn't say no either.
it's like
She made me a job offer too for like twice the salary and a great apartment and
it's like
like I
well,
think she said it was overlooking the park and I'm like,
you should have
"Jesus Christ,
you should
lady,
have
take the fucking job."
yeah, they're treating it like you took an oath to this company. It's like, no, it's a fucking job. He just got divorced. He's living in a shithole. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus.
Yeah, I don't yeah, again, I do not get that.
Yeah, they took it as like this personal affront. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
I
dude,
mean, I get that you're vibing with the guy and all that and you want to have hot monkey sex with him or whatever. But
hot monkey. Who the fuck? All right, never
I
heard
don't
it
know.
called
I
that
mean,
way.
yeah, well, whatever. Um,
Uh,
so,
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so like,
that was just kind of weird because it's like he didn't really betray anybody. I think he just gave some non-committal answer, like I'll think about it, or
yeah, that part. I feel like they just needed some tension or some type of
yeah.
whatever for the
But they
movie.
still wanted Jason Bateman to stay likable.
Yeah, and it's like he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. I mean, the dude needs money. It's like
Yeah,
we can't. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
because they that's kind of a character thing that they do for him is like, oh, you always need a safety net, and
Yeah, it's
um,
like, well, I mean, again, he just got
y-
divorced and he got cleaned out, so yeah, it kind of does need a safety net.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can't play fast and loose with no.
Speaking as someone who doesn't have much of a safety net, yeah,
Yeah, you can't play fast and loose with an empty bank account. I mean, what the fuck?
yeah, no, no,
Yeah, so at this point, Clay leaves the party dejected, and like he goes off with the pimp and the the lover of the evening for money.
Yeah,
There we go. And yeah, that's
yeah.
when Allison lets everybody know, like, yeah, he really cares about this company. He really cares about you people. He's
Allison Vanessa Bayer's character.
Vanessa Bayer's character. Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's broke, basically. Like, he's used all his money he like put it into this company and giving you guys bonuses and this huge party. It's like all out of his pocket. So
Right.
so they all kind of feel bad. So like they go and try to find him. They have Nate try to track him down with his IT skills, and they all drive off to find him.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got Jason Bateman, T.J. Miller, Jennifer Aniston, and no. Wait, they're going after T.J. Miller, and it's Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston, Olivia Munn, and Kate McKinnon all loaded into a minivan.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
go off into the night, and while the party rages on, we see
yeah.
like people just tearing the office apart. We see what do we see, like flaming Christmas trees at one point. We see Jesus on a horse.
There's a whole lot of second unit footage of just the party getting really out of control.
Yeah, like people throw vending machines out the window. That's some,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is another. This is like another complaint I have about the film, or just
yeah.
not complaint, but just like
An observation.
observation. Why are there no cops? Like at no point did the cops show up to any of this at all.
Why are there no cops? And why are people staying at an office Christmas party this late? How does
Yeah,
that shit not be over by 10 p.m.?
I don't know. I mean, I think at this point,
People have sitters.
yeah,
I mean, there's one couple that comes early on in the movie when the party is just starting to get going, and they're like, "Oh, we couldn't get a sitter on this short notice. We've got my kid with an iPad," and Jason Bateman's like, "Well, I'm not nuts about this, but we'll just sit him in my office."
yeah,
And then as soon as the kid is gone, the husband's like, "Oh, good, because my edible is starting to kick in." Ha ha
yeah.
ha ha.
And
Um,
it does lead to a nice little joke towards the end of the film that I got a kick out of.
yeah, well, go ahead and do it because
Well, so at the end of the party, when the office is wrecked, we
yeah,
see like and like so there's a few people passed out.
hmm
We do see one kid with an iPad be like, "Mom, Dad," and
yeah,
he
yeah,
just I don't. It's not
yeah.
funny that a kid can't find his parents, but it is kind of funny.
Oh no, it is. It
Okay,
is. That shit's hilarious.
this, this child is
He's an orphan now.
childhood trauma. Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, so they follow to where TJ Miller is, and he's about to get wasted. And they've got a nice pile of cocaine in the shape of a snowflake, which is that is going the extra mile for Christmas.
yeah, very yeah,
That's
for the holidays.
yeah. I mean, that's A, that looks like a lot of cocaine, and B, that seems like a lot of work to put it in a snowflake design. But
Yeah, who has time like for that?
yeah, yeah. Um, and to get inside this club, uh, Jason Bateman decides he's going to pretend he's also going to be a pimp, and that um, Jennifer Aniston, Olivia Munn, and Kate McKinnon are his stable.
Yes, I believe that's the terminology.
Yeah, his his
His women of the evening.
evening. Yeah, yeah. They say that.
Yes, there you go.
Um, um,
Lovers for
and
money.
it's kind of funny because none of them are dressed for it. Like Bateman puts on like one of the women's coats,
Yeah,
and and Kate McKinnon is playing this sort of stuffy HR person. She's wearing this sweater dress, and she puts it off one of her shoulders.
right,
So
exactly. But and they drive there. They drive up there in her Kia minivan.
yeah,
And like I think at one point, Jason Bateman is like, "Why do you have a minivan? You don't have any kids." And she's like,
yeah,
I buy in bulk."
which doesn't really make any sense, but
Nope.
she sells it.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, Kate McKinnon has some pretty good moments in this movie. I will say.
Honestly, I was expecting Kate McKinnon's character to be, because she's the stuffy HR person. I was expecting her to go much more nutty over the course of the film, because I mean we know that's in Kate McKinnon's wheelhouse.
Oh yes.
Um, so I don't know. I felt like they weren't utilizing Kate McKinnon quite as well as they could.
Yeah, I mean, she has moments like when they go into the sketchy bar. They show there's like this one dangerous looking dude who's doing that like knife game where you put your hand on the table and stick the knife in between.
I think Bishop did in Aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
You're sticking the knife in between your fingers and you're seeing how fast you can do it without stabbing yourself.
Yeah, and then we just see like, without saying anything, Kate just like walk up to the guy, slowly sit across from him, and like slowly put her hand on the table.
Yeah.
So and of course later we see the two of them making out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a little of that, but I felt like she could have done a little more. I don't know. I was expecting Kate McKinnon to get a little more whacked out than she did.
Yeah, I see what you mean. She doesn't get to the whacked out heights that she's capable of.
Yeah, and we see Jennifer Aniston. She like takes down a henchman because we learn early in the movie that she studied Krav Maga,
right?
And so we see her doing some, kung fu type stuff.
Yeah, so she takes down the guys that are guarding the door where T.J. Miller and the pimp are. And then we learn that T.J. Miller
and the pimp has found out about him having all the money, or they find out about it in the car later, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to rob you of this money."
Yeah, because he says I'm pretty broke. I only have like $300,000 to my name, and that's it. And then they ask him, well, "Where is this money?" And it's like, "Oh, it's on my person. It's safe." He mumbles it, but she mishears it, thinking, "Oh, did you say it's in your personal safe?" So
I did not get him until you repeated that line. I didn't get that he was saying it's on my person. It's safe.
Oh,
I just heard it the way that Jillian Bell's character heard it, is it's in my personal safe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like later on she realizes, oh, you said it was on your person.
Okay.
But yeah, so they basically.
I bet if I had the subtitles on when I was watching, I could have caught that.
That's how I do it, baby.
Okay, all right.
That's how we kick it here in P-Town. I don't know. Yes.
Is that what you call your apartment, P-Town?
Yeah, Patterson, P-Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's also where you pee.
Yes, of course.
I'm assuming.
Yes, of course.
I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming you have indoor plumbing at your place.
Number 1 and number 2.
Ooh.
Right. Living the high life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is Christmas. Yeah. So then, then the pimp and Savannah and T.J. Miller just already leave. They peel out in the car, and then
they think they're going to his personal safe.
And then so then the other guys, Aniston and Bateman and Munn and McKinnon, like peel out after him to try to save him.
Right. And then as they're driving, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try and make the jump on that drawbridge."
Yes, the Clark Street Bridge. Yeah, and
the Clark Street Bridge, which they subtly set up earlier.
Right, and of course it freaks him out, and of course the pimp Trina pulled out a gun on him, and then of course that's when Savannah's like, "Well, if you shoot him in the head, then we're kind of swerving all over the place, and so you can't really kill him."
Yeah, and we're dead. And Jason Bateman pulls up alongside him, and he's like, "No, don't go. We're, and he's trying to talk him down. He's not having any luck."
Yeah, and then Jason Bateman, who's driving the minivan, says, "Well, if you're doing this, then I'm doing this. We're doing this together." So then the two of them speed up to the Clark Street Bridge, ready to jump it, Blues Brothers style.
And by the way, like these were obviously just shot on a soundstage, with like the backgrounds blue screened in around them, because I was like, you're not really driving cars.
Yeah, come on, theater of the mind, man.
It looked kind of fakey, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and again, like it's weird how like they're kind of speeding down, empty street, no other cars, no cops. It's just like
we're like what, a couple days before Christmas?
Yeah, there should be somebody on the streets in Chicago.
The cops are not responding to any obvious emergencies in this movie.
Did they all take the holiday off? What the fuck?
I don't know. Are the police on strike? What's going on?
Yeah, it is bananas.
It is weird. I mean, even if you just put some sirens in the background, that's fine.
Yeah. Something. So, so of course the two of them are speeding towards the bridge. Jennifer Aniston's character's like, "Well, look, I'm not going to die in a Kia minivan. So she grabs the wheel from Bateman and like pulls it, and they swerve. They crash, and I think no, they swerve
Right.
into the car. The car gets off track, and like
Right.
goes up a ramp, flies in the air, and
Oh
crash,
yeah. Yeah.
and then crashes into like a power hub, and the minivan crashes too. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then that's when the pimp is like, "Oh, you had it on your person," and
Yeah, because his T.J. Miller's Santa suit. He's in a Santa suit for most of this movie. I think we forgot to mention it.
right, right,
Yeah, the front of his Santa suit opens, and then she sees all this money taped to him,
right, and then
like he's a drug mule or something.
as you do.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is he in the Wolf of Wall Street all of a sudden? What's going
Yeah,
on here?
I ain't going anywhere. Yeah, so then we find out that the Clay, he drove the car into the internet hub, shut down the internet for the entire city of Chicago.
Yeah, and as soon as this happens, I'm like, oh well, Olivia Munn's thing is obviously going to be the solution to this.
Aha!
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So then we go to like our main characters in the hospital.
Right.
But and by this point, like the sun is rising. The party has gone on for like the entire night.
Right. And yeah, so then after all this is happening, like I think Trina and Savannah get arrested.
Yeah.
Tracy and uh, Jennifer Aniston's character have like kind of a back and forth, and through their talk, Olivia Munn's character is inspired about like another way to do her project. About wait, no, if I think of it this way, then I can
Right.
get the
Yeah,
internet.
they were talking about the logistics of making the jump off the bridge, and and Olivia Munn saying, "Oh, you'd have to be going at least 85," and Jennifer Aniston is like, "No, you'd have to be going at least 110 because you got to compensate for all the people in the car
Mm-hmm.
and this and that factor, and you know you've got all these variables you have to compensate for them." And
Right.
then that's when Olivia Munn has her little eureka moment, and she goes, "Oh my god, that's what I haven't been doing with my coding on my awesome phone internet invention. That's basically just a hotspot, but for the sake of this movie, we'll pretend it's not a hotspot. Um, I haven't been compensating for all those variables, and
Aha.
and I have to make that's what I have to do in my programming." And then she and Jason Bateman run back to the office or drive back to the office where we're seeing the aftermath, and there's like office furniture on the street, like somebody threw a chair out the window.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, no
uh,
cops involved at all. No one.
yeah,
It's just
uh,
yeah.
and Deborah Joy Devine's security guard character, she's like, I didn't even get to stun anybody.
Yeah, because she really wants to like tase people. That
Yeah,
was her
I
big
was
deal.
expecting her to come up in the party and like mix with people or something, but
Yeah, yeah, she really didn't have much to
yeah,
do.
yeah, she sadly, I mean, she had more to give to this movie. I mean, there's so many just like killer actors in this movie that yeah,
Yeah,
some of them seem kind of underserved.
yeah, they kind of front loaded it, and like so everybody
Yeah,
gets a little to do, but it does seem like not everybody got enough to do, if that makes any sense.
yeah, and I guess that's unavoidable with a cast this big, but
Yeah, very much so.
um,
Yeah, so then we have Bateman and Olivia Munn's character rushing back to the office with Kate McKinnon. They meet up with Vanessa
right,
Bayer
hmm,
and Nate, and they all band together to get this internet project up and running.
right, and
Uh,
she's like, if this is working, you'll all get an alert on your phone that you can log on to the Wi-Fi here or whatever.
yeah, like Joel's there. He offers up his DJ equipment. It's like, yeah, if you can use this, you can use it. And she's like, yeah, no, I can't use this.
Yeah, I did like that. I like that. She's like, no, that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. No.
I can't use this at all. Why would you give this to
Yeah.
me?
I like that some characters are just absolute idiots.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she gets to work and try to establish internet Wi-Fi through the power grid,
Mhm.
and she does it. She's able to reestablish internet connection for all of Chicago, and the company is saved. Huzzah!
Yeah, I don't get how everybody instantly has internet when nobody has signed up for this service yet.
Don't think
It's
about it.
not like an app you can download or something.
Let's not think too much about it.
It's just yeah. Again, if this was a real great technical innovation, it wouldn't be in a movie. So
Yeah.
In the world of this movie, it's a technical innovation. Yes.
Yeah. So they saved the branch. Everybody's job
Right.
is safe because they gave
Right.
Chicago internet.
Nobody's apparently pressing charges for all the many, many crimes we've seen.
Nope, not at all. All water under the bridge, the drawbridge.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. So then we cut back to the hospital. We see
Right.
that Jennifer Aniston and T.J. Miller have a heart to heart.
They reconcile. By the way, in this scene, okay, T.J. Miller's he has a head wound that is still bleeding, like right above his eye.
Yeah.
Did you notice this?
A little bit, yeah.
He's got the little cinematic eye drop, and I'm like, okay, so either his head wound is still bleeding, or nobody in the hospital cleaned that shit up before they bandaged him up. And I'm just like, and like at one point, a nurse comes into his room and is like, "Oh, hey, the internet's back," and I'm like, "Address his gaping head wound, lady."
1 minute, I just want to get on Instagram. Hold on.
Change his dressing. What the hell? Like I'm not look, I am not a healthcare worker at all, but even I know you wipe away as much blood as you can before you bandage that shit up.
But first, I gotta get on the gram.
So he either has like just clotted blood sitting there, or his wound is still bleeding, and then he's released from the hospital like just apparently an hour or two later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he get like him and his sister Jennifer Aniston. They make up. We also see that Courtney B. Vance was also at the hospital, and he says, "Hey, that was one of the greatest nights of my life. I'll see you guys Monday morning bright and early," because apparently they offered him a job, and now he works at Zenotech.
And again, I'm like, this man was high on cocaine a few hours ago. Yeah. He's in the hospital. Did nobody do a tox screen?
No, he's also missing a tooth too, which I thought
he's also missing a tooth. Yeah. Yeah. And then he turns around and then we see his hospital gowns open in the back. We see his ass.
See them cheeks.
Courtney B. Vance, you didn't have to show your ass for this movie.
He's a method actor, man.
You're better than this.
Go cheeks or go home.
I don't know. I just think like the hospital would have discovered that he was that he had cocaine in his system, and probably have some questions.
Don't think too much about it, man. You're asking too many questions, brother.
I guess. Okay. All right.
But yeah, so
all right. We're almost at the end.
yeah. No, we're actually at the end. So all the employees go pick up T.J. Miller. They told him, we saved the company. Everybody has internet now. Everybody's okay.
Nobody had internet before this, even though it's 2016.
Yes. We get a little cameo from Melissa McCarthy's husband, Ben Falcone, as a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. Telling him, you're good to go, but don't drink any alcohol.
And everybody who's still on the high from the party, they're like, "Oh, no, don't worry, he won't." Wink, and he's like, "I can see you winking."
Yes. And all's well that ends well. They all drive off for breakfast, and they drive recklessly through the streets of Chicago, and the end.
In a company van.
In a company van. Oh, no, I thought that was like... no, it was a company van. I didn't know if it was a company van.
Yeah, no, it had their name on it. The Z whatever.
All right, so everything worked out. Bateman and Munn get to kiss.
They have their big-ass kiss after her thing works.
Yeah, and
then Nate and Vanessa Bayer kiss.
Yeah, I think
and she has the thing like, "Oh, well, no, actually, I'm not going to kiss you right away."
Yeah, like I like you, but maybe we should have coffee first. I actually thought that was pretty funny because I thought that was like a little...
I thought it was cute, but I was like, I liked this better when I first saw it. Lauren Lapkus do it in Jurassic World.
Oh, that's right. She did
which I think was out before this movie. I forget how old Jurassic World is.
Let me look it up. But I totally forgot.
I mean, that came out after Guardians of the Galaxy, so that was probably 2013, 2014.
That sounds about right. Jurassic World 2015.
Okay, so the year before this movie. Okay, well, so all right, so maybe two screenwriters had the same idea around the same time.
Maybe.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but I saw Jurassic World first, and Jurassic World came out first, so
okay.
Boo! Office Christmas Party.
Wow. Shots fired.
On that one gag.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's the movie. Overall, I thought it was pretty enjoyable for the most part. It doesn't... I mean, it didn't wow me, but I was like, all right, it has some funny
Yeah,
moments here and there.
I'm kind of the same. It didn't wow me. I was like, this is all right. This is fine. This is good. I don't feel like my time was wasted.
Yeah.
So yeah, am I gonna be like, oh, I have to watch it again? It's Look, as Jason Bateman comedies go, it's no game night.
No, folks, yo, on the I'm serious because I just said yo. Uh,
Yeah,
yo, fam, yo, peep this. Don't.
you got like 75% more black with that. I kind of love
Yeah,
that.
I know. No, because like I watch game night I put it on casually because like I'd
Yeah,
heard so many of my friends say how good it is. Dude,
yeah,
I didn't see it in the theaters because it looked kind of whatever. Dude,
yeah.
that movie is really funny. It is really good.
Hilarious. It's I think it got very good reviews, but I feel like it is still underrated and kind of slept on. Because
Yeah.
like I watched it just like on a whim, like you, and I didn't see it in its theatrical run, and I liked it so much. I texted you after. I was like, "Dude, have you seen Game Night?" And you're like, "Yeah, my wife and I watched that a month ago, and holy shit, that's so funny." And yeah,
Yeah, no, folks, watch Game Night because it is genuinely like laugh out. I had big laugh out loud moments
yeah,
for
and
sure.
and that is exceptional for me. I mean, because when you're a comedian, you don't laugh out loud at jokes quite as much because you hear a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And particularly like when you're just watching something alone by yourself, it takes a lot to make you laugh out loud. It really has to be surprising and really funny. And that movie made me laugh out loud. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's really funny jokes, really good camera
hmm
work too. Some really awesome shots, I thought.
really well directed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think there's anybody from SNL in it, so I don't think we can technically cover it for this podcast.
I've been looking through the cast list right after I saw the movie. I was like, is there anybody? Is there a way we can do this on the podcast? Because I will.
Maybe we should just do it as a bonus episode for the Patreon people, and
Ooh,
just the two of us can just have an excuse to watch Game Night again, and then we can talk about how much we love Game Night.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
in.
Well, we'll do that sometime in 2024. Uh,
Uh,
but for now, Office Christmas Party, it's good. It's certainly better than the Switch, which I really didn't think much of. This one's all right. Yeah,
yeah, not bad. Not a again, like I mean, just because it has so many really good comedic actors in it, like odds are, like if this movie wasn't funny and it had all these comedic actors in it, I'd be surprised. So
yeah,
I think just the
yeah.
fact that
And
yeah
and I will say that it did surprise me in a few places. It zigged where I thought it was going to zag. Um,
yeah
like I liked how some of the subplots sort of intertwined. I was like, oh, okay, so we got TJ Miller going off with the prostitute thing. It's not one of those movies where like everybody's on their own little subplot track and never the twain shall meet. Um, because at a party you bounce from people to people and you talk to other people and that was good. Yeah, there are some predictable things like you know from the beginning that Jason Bateman and Olivia Munn are going to hook up.
oh yes
But I liked the left turn that they took with Vanessa Bayer and Randall Park.
mm-hmm.
Um, I wasn't nuts that Randall Park essentially disappeared from the movie after that, but
Yeah, that's true. He kind of. I mean, like, yeah. Well, there was a point at the end where he's like, "Hey, could you not tell people I have that little proclivity? Like, I'll
yeah,
do your taxes for free if you do." And she's like,
yeah,
"Okay,
and
yeah."
she's like done.
And like,
Yeah,
yeah, and then that's pretty much it. We don't really see him anymore.
yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
but yeah, but that's the movies. Not bad. We'll say not bad.
Not bad. I would give it like 2.5, 3 stars out of 5, maybe.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'll go two.
I'm already thinking about my letterbox rating.
um, yeah, out of five, 2.5. I'll give it 2.5.
2.5. Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm gonna officially rate this on letterbox now. 2.5. And I will give it a like. You
yeah.
know, it's a borderline like, but it's still a like.
Absolutely. And yeah, so that's our thoughts on the movie. We put out the word
Hmm.
on Twitter that we were doing this, and we heard from
Yeah.
our good friend Drew S. Rod, who suggested this fine
Yes.
film, saying
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon def steals a few scenes. Jason Bateman is underrated as the straight man in comedic movies. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Love Jennifer Aniston in this. I feel like TJ Miller should have had a bigger career by now as well.
Oh boy, I feel like Drew. I feel like maybe you haven't Googled T.J. Miller in a little while.
Yeah, because
He's had some stuff going on, man.
he's had some stumbles. I will admit he is funny in movies, but he seems to
Yeah,
get in his own way, and he seems to really piss a lot of people off and burn bridges.
he seems to do some bomb threats.
He seems to have done that.
He
I'm
seems he's got a lot of chaotic energy.
Yeah,
Let's
like
put it that way.
I
Um,
mean the whole Silicon Valley thing. God damn, what was that?
yeah,
Oof.
I don't know. I don't remember all the details of that, but yeah, he left that show under kind of a cloud, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was. I mean, for one thing, I think it came out like he was bullying one of his co-stars, Alice Wetterland, and then
Well,
he,
that's no good.
yeah, and then he wanted to be out and leave the show. He kind of said
Right.
some not great things about Alec Berg and his co-star Thomas Middleditch. Look, if you can look it all up, it was,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, give
yeah,
T.J. Miller a Google, and that'll keep you busy for a few hours. I'm thinking.
yeah. There was that sexual assault charge, and
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's really no good.
remember that?
That's
Uh,
no, I didn't.
yeah,
But
oof,
oh, okay, yeah.
yeah.
So, well, anyway, T.J. Miller, problematic,
Yeah,
let's
like
say.
he is funny, but he's also
Yeah,
an agent of
yeah.
chaos.
I believe he was fired from the either Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 3 because of all this.
Oh, right,
I
yeah, he
think.
said something about Ryan Reynolds, and like he's like the Ryan Reynolds is like the nicest guy in the history of anything, and like
Apparently, yeah,
he said
yeah,
some
yeah,
discouraging things about him, and yeah, now he's not going to be, and it seems like they patched up, but yeah, he's not going to be in Deadpool 3. So yeah,
yeah.
it's he seems to kind of rub a lot of people the wrong way.
He's
So
got his problems. He's
he
got his
has this
problems.
problem.
I
Yeah,
mean, but look, I'll see most any comedy with Jason Bateman because I feel like he is a reliable comedic lead, and I
yeah.
mean, ever since Arrested Development, like movies like this are his bread and butter. I mean, because he's very funny, he's very dry, he's a great straight man for this sort of thing, and yeah, I never worry when Jason Bateman's the lead of a movie.
Yeah, it did to happen where like after Arrested Development, it did kind of revive his career, and like
Oh yeah,
he got like a ton of comedies like after this. He kind of became like the go-to guy for like the dry straight man roles.
yeah,
It's
yeah, and I
fantastic.
mean he does it very well. Jason Bateman, he seems like a guy who has a really good career, and he's really got it figured out. I know he's got a family.
Hmm.
He does his Smartless podcast with
Oh, uh,
Will Arnett and
Sean,
Will and Grace guy Sean Hayes,
yes,
and yeah, they had a good movie about them going on tour with the podcast. I need to listen to more of that podcast, but I like all those guys.
yeah,
So like I never worry when I'm watching a movie with Jason Bateman, and some really solid people. Dave McKinnon, Vanessa Bayer, of course, both good. Maybe both a little underutilized.
a little bit.
Rob Corddry, his character was so much like Hot Tub Time Machine guy.
Yeah, it kind of remember when like Sean William Scott blew up from American Pie,
Yeah,
and
and then
they
he was Stifler in every movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
this felt like that. They were just like, yeah,
Hmm.
just do that thing you do in this film.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a shame because like you remember Rachel Harris from The Daily Show,
Oh yeah, the blonde dude.
blonde with the glasses, and
Yeah,
she was in The Hangover, and she played Ed Helms's like bitchy
right.
fiance.
The shrew.
Yeah, and then after that, she just is playing a bitch in every fucking movie,
Yeah,
and it's like she can do more than this, people.
it's
I know she did that really, really well, and but
it's a
I
thing
don't
where
know.
yeah, it's a thing where like when you have a breakout role that like everybody loves and makes the movie a lot of money,
Right.
people are just like, oh, do that, but for us, and it's just like,
And do that in movies for the next 10 years. And I mean, maybe they like the typecasting because
mm,
it is steady, reliable work and it's
yeah,
not too demanding, I suppose. But I don't know. It bugs me when I know people are more versatile than that.
yeah, like yeah, it is good steady work, like you say, but I don't know those actors. I figure at one point they just got to be get sick and tired of playing that same note on the instrument. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's got to get a little boring, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, I feel, yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good movie. It's fun. It's entertaining. I feel like it could have been more, and it could have utilized some of the cast members a little better. Like I mean, like I said, Courtney B. Vance, after his character gets injured, he basically fucks off for the rest of the movie.
Yep. You see his butt cheeks at the end, and that's it.
That's it. And I'm just like, you got Courtney B. Vance, people.
The dude was Johnny Cochran in the Trial of OJ FX
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Dude was in Hunt for Red October. He does shit.
Yeah. He was in Hunt for Red October?
He was in Hunt for Red October. I think.
What did he do in Hunt for Red October? I haven't seen that movie in a minute.
I don't think it was a big role, but he was in it. Just because I was.
That must have been before he became famous.
Yeah. It was like one of his earlier roles, but like did.
Was he just like a guy on the sub?
Yeah, I think he was one of the seamen. Teehee.
Seaman.
I knew there was no way for me to say that without just giggling like a schoolboy.
Seaman. Yeah. I did like how the two asshole IT guys, like towards the end of the movie, we see them and they're like picking up on these women, and they're doing like, what were they doing, like strip poker or something? Or
yeah, they were doing a thing where like they were trying to convince them that they were soulmates, and then I think it was.
I remember one of the women took off her sweater and she was like in her bra, and then like I think Olivia Munn or somebody walks in and she's like, they're not your soulmates. They just hacked your Facebook accounts.
Yes, that was a funny line.
And then like in the aftermath of the party, we see them both like tied up to a chair, and then written on the wall behind them are all their last Google searches.
Yeah, so.
And they're of course hideously embarrassing things.
Yes, they got their comeuppance.
Yeah, and I didn't make notes of them because I was like, oh, that'll be on the IMDb trivia page. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Just go back and watch it, and like if you learn anything,
go back and watch.
Yeah, always clear your search history. Always.
Yeah. I just did that this morning for the new year.
Good man.
So starting fresh.
That's right. Absolutely. And yeah, that's the episode, guys. Thanks again for listening to the podcast as always. First one of the new year, 2024.
Yeah. Thank you for suggesting this movie, Drew. I mean, neither one of us has seen it before, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah, enjoyable. So, thank you, Drew. Thank you.
Enjoyable. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good B- comedy.
Yeah, I'd give it that. Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, that's the episode. Thanks again for listening to the podcast as always. And you can follow us on Twitter, because we refuse to call it X, at SNL Nerds Show. And you can donate to our Patreon at Non-Productive.com. Okay, give us some money, please. Leave a review, 5 stars, something nice. We're fragile, delicate people. Don't give us the bad words. And as
we're delicate little flowers.
Yes, absolutely. And as always, you can follow me on all the platforms at Darren Credible, DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on the various platforms, Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky, at Trumbull Comic, TRUMBULL, and the word comic. And what are we doing next week, Darren?
Next week, oh boy, what aren't we doing next week? Next week we're gonna do. We're gonna be doing a movie. We're gonna try to do this movie because this one's a little tough to find.
This is another one that it's tough to find, and we think we're gonna have to get it on DVD.
Yeah, this one's
because it's fallen down the memory hole a little bit. Yeah,
this one's a toughie, but if we can pull it off, if we can pull this caper off, it'll be pretty fantastic. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try to do, because it's the new year. We need a New Year's movie. 200 cigarettes. We're going to do
200 cigarettes, a movie that takes place on New Year's Eve of, I think, 1980 or 1981, something like that. 1981. We got the Paul Rudd. We got the Courtney Love.
We got Kate Hudson.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle's in this. We got Ben Affleck.
Martha Plimpton.
Ben Affleck.
Christina Ricci.
Casey Affleck.
Ben Affleck. All the Afflecks.
Yes. And of course, from SNL, we got Jay Moore and Janine Garofalo.
Yes. We're going early 90s with this thing. Absolutely. With the movie that was actually made in 1999.
Yes, absolutely. This movie, I mentioned it's tough to find because it's not streaming anywhere. It just got re-released on DVD recently, so you kind of have to track it down and buy it. I don't. We can talk.
Wait, it wasn't on DVD until recently?
It was on
What the-
DVD, but then like they
Oh,
re-released
it went out of print?
I think so. Yeah. Then they kind of
Oh,
re-released it.
okay, okay.
So I don't know. We could talk about why, like, what the hell happened with this movie, like why it's so hard to track down. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna talk about a movie most of you probably won't be able to see. 200 Cigarettes.
But, maybe you saw it back in the day and you sort of vaguely remember it. And if not, well, I guess we're just going to have to do a good job summarizing it next week.
Absolutely. The best way. We're gonna do this movie justice.
Yeah. Or we'll do a really half-assed job that we're working to do.
Yes.
Could go either way.
I'm putting my money on the ladder.
Okay, all right. So, that's what we're going to do next week. 200 Cigarettes. Join us for that. Until then, nerds out!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.